Ball gown.
Beautiful gowns. Lovely gowns. Hi, hello, welcome back to That Sounds Gay. We are with Jesse. My name is Jer, and we are doing a very special one-shot, one night only, one episode only of Drag Race Italia Season 1.
One night in Italy.
One night in Italy. This is my first time perceiving this. I've never seen Italia other than the very iconic Vampire Runway.
Yes.
That's all I've seen.
Love. Slay.
This was your first time?
You know, I started trying to watch it, and then I
Okay.
really just kept up with it.
Okay.
And then this was my first time, actually, perceiving what went on throughout it all. And
Yeah.
even then, I feel like I didn't even watch it. I feel like I just, witnessed, I was in a cafe watching two people fight in the street. But I couldn't, the windows were soundproof.
Yeah, so you couldn't hear what they were fighting about or why.
Yeah.
Or even who won,
Yeah.
but there was a fight. Yeah, no, I feel that. I just perceived this, and I still am like, what did I watch exactly? We have a lot to get through. 6 episodes that we're going to try to one-shot in our normal time slot. We might go over 15, but that's fine. And I'm going to keep us on track. I'm going to do my best. But before, I have to tell you something.
Okay.
So we love reality TV.
We do, of course. Yes, of course. Yes.
I started watching some old Food Network Star seasons just because I needed something in the background while life was lifing.
Next Food Network
Next Food
Star.
Network Star. Yeah.
I did love that show, actually.
Yeah. I watched season 11.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. So there's this 20 something, super conceited, super haughty, bitchy character on TV. It's week 2 or 3 and he's in the bottom and Jada is talking to this girl who's about to go. And she's based off your food, based off your persona. She stops, looks at him, and he's smiling. And she turns to Bobby and says, he's smiling. And Bobby says, he's just so immature and unprofessional. And she says, you know what? I've changed my mind. You know what? Actually, girly pop number 1, you're fine. Whatever this dude's name is, I already forgot. He's so inconsequential. You're out tonight.
Because he was smiling?
Because he was smirking through the whole elimination.
Was he for real being a little asshat?
Yes. It was in episode 2, one of the ladies there was I want to just give you some advice as a mom. And he said, you're not my mom, though. My mom raised a champion.
Ew.
I don't need to listen to you. And walks out of the workroom while they're waiting for deliberation. Yeah, he was being a legit dick.
Oh, gross. Yeah, we don't stand.
No.
I love that kind of behavior, though.
Yes, I've never seen that on reality before. Usually, when people are smirking, smiling when someone else is getting eliminated, it usually just is a shady cut to them.
Yeah.
I've never seen them get actually punished.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Because there's some shows, that's one of them. Face Off was one of the shows where some contestants are a lot of those shows where it's a trade, where they have a specific skill and other people are competing with that specific skill. Some people are just real asshats about it. So
is that the one that RuPaul yelled at the lady or the guy about?
That is Skin Wars.
Oh, okay.
Which is also iconic.
Yeah.
I haven't even really perceived that, but I do know what that is, and I do live for that.
I watched season 1, and I remember liking it, and I remember Rue going off. That has Rebecca Romaine in it as well, right?
Oh, girl. I just know that Laganja was in one episode.
Oh?
She did a death drop.
Miss Laganja is strong.
Laganja is strong.
Mom. Okay, so let's get into Italia. So some high points for me. I know that there's a lot going on in this season. I mean, it's an hour, 20 minutes per episode. There's a lot of noise, but it's not really saying anything.
Yeah.
They incorporated a lot of assets into this season that we don't see elsewhere. You've watched more international seasons than me.
Yeah.
Do they do these cut to a shimmery main challenge cue card and then it goes to the camera work? I don't think they do that anywhere else.
No, I don't really. I feel like most shows try to follow the format.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is one of those things where it's I'm so curious what Italian television's like, because
Yes.
I'm is this informed by programs of the like?
Right.
Yeah, she's interesting though, isn't she?
Mm-hmm. Another thing I was curious about that maybe I need to do my own homework on, but I wonder if Italian television has more strict regulations, because for the most part, they're doing 3 days per episode. They're coming in the workroom. They do the mini challenge. They're told what the challenge is.
Yeah.
And then either they're like doing a going home for TV changing, or
Yeah.
they're legitimately ending their production day, going home, coming in the next day to do the main challenge, leaving, and then coming back for the runway on a third day.
Yeah.
So either Italian television is like 6 hours, you are not doing these 18-hour drag race days, or they're just like having them go back and change.
Yeah,
multiple times.
Or they're like, we have to give the illusion that this is multiple days
Yeah.
because we have no labor laws.
Right. It's one of the two.
It's either really strict on labor or really terrible on labor. we need the backstage tea. You know, when I watched the first episode, I took exactly 4 notes.
Okay.
Mac Ambassador is actually, I think, a really cool prize.
Very much so.
Whack editors, that's all I wrote. Confessionals recorded in a bathroom.
Totally.
The echo and reverb on all these confessionals is crazy.
It was bad.
Last thing, you'd think Peppermint was a winner. Based on this opening montage,
Yes.
the way they featured Peppermint was like she won. I said the 3 winners, Sasha, Adore, and Peppermint. Because they showed Sasha getting crowned, and then they showed like a million clips of Peppermint and a million clips of Adore from season 6,
So
like from the
many.
musical and stuff. I'm like, yes, the 3 winners.
Our trifecta winners.
Because I think Holland was like this, where they only had like season 8 clips or
8
something.
and 5.
Like certain international seasons only play these clips from really specific US seasons.
Yeah.
And this was like 6 and 9.
Yeah, it was literally 6, 9, and 10. And that was
and
it.
10. There's some 10 too. It was so weird. But I was like, you could have swore Peppermint won based on how they presented her. I was living for it though.
Italia's predicted her All-Stars win.
Yeah.
It's coming. I noticed that too. And that was literally one of the first things I wrote down was like, is this going to be a Holland copycat? Because I can't handle this.
Do you know what I actually also wrote down to tell you? I realized this entire time I had LaRich. I don't know.
LaRich.
Larish and
Larish.
Farida. I had them mixed up in my brain.
Oh.
So I think I said that you would like Larish, but I meant you would like Farida.
I love Farida
Because I
Khan's.
started watching, I was like, wait, I don't like Larish, but I love Farida. I had it mixed up because I was like, oh, Larish. Oh, wait, no, I don't.
Can I just say, I really kind of loved Norma.
Norma?
Yeah. We're going to get to her.
We're going to get to her. I honestly, my 3 favorites are probably Norma, Ava.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, Ivana's kind of hilarious. Or probably Farida though.
Yeah.
Like, Farida's like my for real winner.
Mm-hmm.
I love Elektra though. Like I had no beef with her. But then I loved perceiving Norma and Ava throughout the course of the season.
They were fascinating. And you were not featuring Lukisha Lubamba.
Mama. No, we have so much.
We have literally so much to talk about. Okay, so our very first queen walking in this extremely pink workroom. It was like a sickly pink color.
Yeah, it felt like put together, but not aesthetically pleasing.
Yes.
Like it felt like bigger and like more thought out than like say like the Down Under workroom.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't. Yeah, you didn't enjoy it, and it was kind of like on season 9 actually of US, where that purple like washed out the runway.
Right.
It was like that in the workroom where everything just felt like it had that purple pink rinse over it.
And it was gross.
Yeah.
Divinity is our very first queen.
Divinity.
in the workroom. I loved her this season.
I thought she was really cool, really chill.
Yeah.
She was like kind of like a sleeper hit. I think there's like, I mean, it's not even like it's a big cast, but I just think there was so much going on with the other girls. I think she kind of got like lost in the mix.
Totally.
Because she didn't have anything huge going on. But I think she's a hoot.
And the judgment was weird this season, like more so than in any other, I feel like. And Divinity went home in a time that I didn't think she should have.
No, because when I was perceiving it, I was like, ooh, she seems like she would be a front runner, strong bitch, make it to the end.
Top 3, top 4, yeah. Next up, we have one of my absolute favorite workroom entrance lines. She says, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Farida Kant. Bitch.
Slay. Also, slay look.
Such a good look.
I love this like green and black layering of the tulle.
Mm-hmm.
It's just very punk, very acid. She's hot.
Yeah, Farida was kind of it for me.
Farida is the it girl of the season, in my opinion. She is the... Oh, you didn't watch season 1 of Thailand?
No,
She's
I can't
the
find it
Annie
anywhere.
Mae Wong of Italy.
Okay.
For the
hot
people
takes
who
here.
that means anything to, that means something to
She's
them.
the Annie Mae
For
Wong.
everyone else, crickets.
For everything else, there's Visa and MasterCard.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Ava Hanger, and they pronounce her name Avant-Garde.
Avant-garde?
Avant-Garde. Like, it almost, to me, because they say avant-garde at some point.
I think it's avant-garde.
Yeah.
But spelled out avant-garde because in Spanish, the H is silent. So
Right.
I'd assume I approach Italian as like Spanish in a funny accent.
Yeah. I mean, it is.
As someone
based
who
off
knows
Latin.
more Spanish than Italian, I'm like, you're just speaking Spanish in like a silly accent.
Literally,
No
there were
offense
so
to
many
the Italians,
words.
sorry,
No, but I mean,
like,
it's true. There were so many words. I'm like, wait, they're saying pero. I'm like, I know that word. And then
like
they'd
you
say
could
different
say
things.
like Spanish, like nuestro padre, like that, and it just sounds like Italian.
I swear I heard one of them say culo at some point.
So
They were talking about their butt. And I'm like,
I'm
I
sure.
know that word.
And so, like with Ava, before I watched the season, I read it as Ava Hanger, but then I heard avant-garde. I was like, wait, what? Why do I hold space for this woman and her hairy arms?
The show held a lot of space for this woman
Okay,
and her
I
hairy
was not
arms.
expecting the show to hold as much space for her as they did.
They almost held more space for her than they ought to have.
Yeah, I agree. She overstayed her welcome a little bit, but I thought she was quite handsome. As
She
well.
was very handsome.
She was a lovely man. I like the idea of a queen with hairy arms.
Yeah.
Because there's also a lot of like women, I mean Italian women
There
with
are
hairy
women
arms.
that have hairy bodies. That is the
because,
thing.
Like, not everyone. I feel like women should not have to feel forced to shave their arms.
No.
I was literally like today. My coworker was talking about how she was shaving her legs this morning,
Mm-hmm.
and she like accidentally like shaved off a chunk of flesh, like it was a cheese grater.
yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know how y'all do this. Like, I stopped shaving my neck because I hate what shaving does to my skin. This is why I
hate
can
it.
never do drag.
Yeah.
The way that my skin reacts to a razor is ungodly. Maybe I just need to spend more money on the razors, but like the way that women and like femme presenting people subject themselves to literally like potentially slicing off their flesh like a potato peeler,
Mutilation.
just to be smooth. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it for them.
Me too. I love that she's out here representing.
Yeah, the other queens don't.
No. I will say she has a little bit of a brick.
Oh
Like-
no, she's Sister Brick.
She's Sister Brick. There's this
Tia Brick.
Tia Brick. There's this movie that's called Munsters Go Home, and it's the Munsters from the 60s. And there's a scene where Herman and Grandpa have to get in like drag and work at a diner for a bit. And Ava looks like when Fred Gwynn was in diner drag.
Well, okay. I'm obsessed with the fact that like she is the most like manly brickish woman who styles herself like a housewife from the countryside.
Yes.
Like these mid-century like big dresses, the like victory roll hair, like
Love it.
It's so ridiculous of a juxtaposition to like her natural aesthetic.
Totally.
And so I do kind of love it for that reason, because it's like everything she wears like makes no sense for who she is like outside of drag. And so it is kind of hilarious.
I agree. And I think she like DJs for the most part these days. Like DJs in drag.
What a fascinating queen.
Yeah. I kind of lived. I won't lie. Like
See?
she was a brick, but I lived.
Yeah. Fascinated.
Next up we have Ivana Vamp. Same energy as Tabitha from Holland too.
I was going to say she is kind of mothering.
Yeah. I
And
felt
sh-
so bad.
And it's so funny because she's like 30 years old. And she's mother. And I'm like, no, you should be 45.
Yeah.
Diva. But she's fully like, she's younger than you and Jake by like,
Right.
she's like only like a couple, was she even 30 yet?
She
might
was
have been
younger.
29. I think she was only a couple years older than me. And I was like, you have no right pretending to be this little like, this little
Gen
like,
X energy.
yeah, this like Paris is burning mother. Like I've seen it all. I've been there. Like I'm a staple. Like
Shade comes from reading.
But yeah, literally, like I have a corpse in my closet. But you know what? I love her for that because I also love a young bitch who pretends they're 50.
Joe Black.
Yeah.
We love that energy.
Welcome back, darlings.
Glenn Close, but
I
no
literally
cigar.
almost texted you today because I was thinking about the movie Mighty Joe Young, and I almost just texted you Mighty Joe Black.
New
Like
Wheel
a
of
young
Fortune ball.
Charlize Theron with short hair, like taming a giant Joe Black. Like a huge Joe Black in the wild.
I would love to see that.
Because I'm also holding space for that movie, Mighty Joe Young. I was thinking about that movie.
I haven't seen that since it came out.
I haven't seen it since I was a kid, but it was so good. I thought it was on the Disney Channel.
Yeah.
Mighty Joe Black.
Mighty Joe Black. Oh my God. Our next queen is LaRiche. Hot out of drag.
LaRoche.
La Roche. You so tired, La. You ate that.
Hotter in drag. Hotter out of drag than in drag. Hate to say it. She is a gorgeous man out of drag. She looks like an Andrew Christian model.
Totally.
In drag, she looks like she eats cigarettes.
She does, but you know who else does? A Norma Jean. A Norma looks like she is like chain smoking all the time. She looks like she smokes during dinner.
If I was holding space for avant-garde, I'm like creating extra space.
Yeah.
I'm like buying real estate.
Yes.
I'm buying deeds.
I'm investing.
So that I can hold even more space for a Norma Jean. Yes. Because I fucking love her.
I was obsessed. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I will. Her most iconic moment is her saying, "You producers, you put me, a 46-year-old, with all of these morons." Bitch.
She gives what the US girlies wish they could give.
Yes.
She gave television, but she gave it all.
She gave everything.
I love her.
She would do so good in a Versus the World or like All Stars.
But the
or
second she
something.
walked in that jumpsuit with that little like wrap, I was like, oh, I know this. I know what this bitch is gonna be giving us. And her like, and her like natural hair. Yes. I was so here for it.
She looks like that cool coworker that you know you'd just fuck with. Like, you'd have a good day.
Yeah, she's the one that, like, she just never left because when she gets her seasonal, like, increase every year, like, she's at, like, almost, like, about to hit the cap because she's been there for, like, 20 years and she gets that yearly, like, increase every year. So she makes more than, like, what managers get hired in right now, but, like, they can't do anything about it because she's been grandfathered into those wages. She's giving her.
She steals Sobeys out of the mini fridges that are supposed to go for the customers.
Yeah, she works her own schedule and they can't do anything about it.
She walks in and goes, "Yeah, that's not going to work for me, doll."
She's like, "Hey, I'm going to step out. I'll be back in 2 hours." And they're like, okay.
And she just went to go get chicken somewhere and came back and is like, "Hey,
yeah,
anything? Did I miss anything? No? Cool." I loved her. Next, we have your favorite this season, Lukisha Lubamba.
Why would you put that on me?
I had to.
Because they either have to confirm or deny.
But we already
know she's listening.
She's listening.
Lakeisha. Okay, can I start by saying this outfit to me was so Hello Project coded.
Okay, bitch. I was gonna
the
say.
backwards cap with the bow on it was the most Hello Project thing.
It is so Hello Project.
As of late. Like,
she's very J Idol. Like, there was a moment where she was like, she like does that thing that the girls do all the time that J Idols do. They over explain something when they got the letters, and she was like, "Oh, I wonder if it's from a lost lover. I've never had a lost lover. I've been with the guy I've been with for the last 3 years, but if I had a lost lover, he could have written me a letter." It was so J Idol coded, and I'm like, and you are such a weirdo.
And also the aesthetic choice of like, it's cutesy with no taste. It's street from someone who's never been on the streets. It's hip hop with no rhythm. It's pop with like no talent. No. But like
talent.
This is a show for talented people.
Not people who know how to buy shoes.
But she really is. It was so J Idol coded. You're right. She really does seem like, like a character, like an established idol character.
Yeah. She was there to portray her character on the J Idol show. She was not there for anything else. Because, like, she does that dumb character the whole time. She never breaks it. And I want to know if that's genuine or if that's, like, a bit that she's doing. In any case, I was holding space for her, too.
Also, out of drag, Project Runway contestant.
Totally.
When she was talking about how she wants to open up a store where there's no sizes and no genders, and she had that look with the bandana around her head, I was like, you are a Project Runway contestant.
Completely.
She was made for reality TV.
And she never takes that headband off. She gets ready with that headband on.
Committed.
I'm like,
what are you hiding under there, girl?
You know that
hiding
story about that lady whose head falls off when her scarf comes off? That's Lucretia's scalp. If she takes off the headband, her whole scalp just like slides off.
It's like Repo.
Yeah,
she's like Paris Hilton in Repo.
There's an exposed brain. And then our final contestant is our winner, Electra Bionic. Can I say she was so hot in and out of drag.
She is ridiculously fierce and cunty, and I think it's unfortunate because she could have been sold better throughout the season to make her win more satisfying, because she is that girl.
I thought she could have won 3 challenges.
That's the thing. Okay, so that was the thing about when she won. No one was necessarily mad, I think, because they're like, well, yeah, she's been slaying, but why didn't you give her a win this whole time then?
At all.
I mean, we're jumping ahead, but because right away she radiates it girl energy.
She has I'm gonna win this, and during that whole fight with Norma and Ava, she's like, I just, in the most professional way, I just feel like if you break the rules, there should be punishment. We're all working really hard, and we're trying to do our best here in the competition, and they clearly don't respect that. And at her age, she should be respecting the integrity of the competition, and just handles it with this grace and poise. And that moment, I was like, yes, bitch.
She gives me the energy of not this person in their essence, but the archetype of a queen, like what we're seeing right now with Lexi Love.
Oh, yeah.
Someone who comes into the room and they fully understand it in a way that maybe not everyone else in the room gets it. Because I feel like she gets the beat of Drag Race very well.
Totally.
But she also gets the beat of what they're doing on the show, as contestants, as TV characters, as competitors, outside of the show. She seems to understand the pace of it. Or even Carmen Farala.
Okay.
Where when Carmen walked in, she immediately understood the pace and commanded things in a certain way. I feel like she has that kind of energy, because even as soon as she walked in, the way she even handled her entrance, she's giving very I know what I'm doing. I got this.
I was going to compare her to Carmen a little bit, because she gave me Carmen energy.
Yeah.
Carmen without being rewarded.
Yeah. Underdog Carmen.
Because she was good at everything, including confessionals. She never did bad all season.
No, yeah.
And I felt like she knocked everything out of the park. And she has 4 mini challenge wins, I think.
Yeah.
Which says something.
She still had a super strong presence all season. It's just, it could have been stronger.
I do have to know what was going on with Electra's at that time, because this is our third. We had Electra Fence, Electra Shock, Electra Bionic.
We are having a Electra abundance.
Renewable energy. So then we can have Drag Race all Electras versus all Scarlets versus all Thes. And I think that'd be fierce.
Please.
We're at that point now. So all of the judges enter together and they give a little monologue. We have for this season, Tommaso Zorzi, who's hot.
Hot man.
I love the way that he talks. He talks with the front of his mouth all the time. And he kind of is all the time. Yeah. And then Kiara, I believe it's her name.
Kiara Pamu.
Pamu. She's so cute. And I love her energy and her radiance. I want to say something that I found so interesting about Italia was that Priscilla almost takes on a Heidi Klum approach to this show. Priscilla's so detached, or like a Tyra.
Yeah.
She is so detached from the actual show, shows up near the very end of it to get close to the contestants, but very much is she comes in, is kind of just standing there looking around, says 2 words about the challenge, and then is the main presence on the runway and during deliberation.
She's there to be an authority, but not a guide.
Right. where like Tommaso and Chiara are like the Miss J Alexander, the Tim Gunn.
Okay.
Like they very much take we're going to deliberate the challenge. We're going to tell you what it's all about. We're going to navigate interpersonal workroom stuff. But when it comes to the actual runway, we're going to give you like 2 or 3 words. And Priscilla's the authority here.
Yeah.
I kind of was obsessed with that. I won't lie. Because this whole show is a parody of Project Runway and Top Model.
Yeah.
So actually going and doing a return to form where we do commit very hard to that, I lived.
Well, and the thing is,
tell me the thing.
Old seasons of Drag Race, RuPaul was in the workroom because RuPaul cared and RuPaul was interested in what the queens were doing. Mm-hmm. At this point now, it's the established format. She's kind of doing it out of obligation.
Right.
But like if we were to redo it and it is just the judges going through and then RuPaul just stays like the wise sage at the end, who like makes the calls, like that's fine with me.
We see that happen in Canada on episodes where Tracy or Brad are the one who are in charge.
Yeah, and I don't hate it because it also feels like it's more of a surprise to Brooke. Like, I don't know. I enjoy that. I agree.
Yeah, and then they also get a little bit of authority of, well, we talked about this in the workroom. And then Brooke's like, oh, interesting. So you already had this conversation.
Yeah.
Why are we discussing it again now?
Yeah.
I kind of lived for that. I thought that was fun. Originally, I thought like, oh, this is weird how little Priscilla is here. But the more that the season went on, I'm like, you are totally doing a Heidi Tyra hybrid. I love that.
Hydra.
Hydra. Because like nobody complains about that in Project Runway. Then Heidi comes in and says, hello, this week, Tim Gunn will meet you at the Empire State Building. Goodbye. You know? And then says all this stuff on the runway and Tim's barely involved at that point. Nobody complains about that. I thought that was interesting. So our very first mini challenge of this franchise is the Venetian photo shoot where they have to be on a gondola with the sexiest pit crew member I have ever seen in my life. I want to say that the Italian men on this season made me realize that God is real.
He was giving drawn.
Yes.
He was giving like a character from your childhood that was then drawn inappropriately.
That one big buff dude from Kim Possible. What was his name?
Oh my. Not junior.
Senior, senior.
Junior.
Yeah.
Something like that.
He had those huge titties and that tiny waist and was so unrealistic.
Yeah.
That was this Italian.
He's built like that. Okay, but then why was the shoot like it was like that part in Pirates of the Caribbean ride when you're like in the dark and there's like the pirate battle like happening. Like they were like it was like at night and there was lightning behind them.
It was crazy.
The like really dark scenery was so strange to me.
Yeah.
It was yeah.
Do you remember in Holland too when they made them do the bike shoot and then threw the rain and the trash at them?
Yeah.
And did this exact thing with like lightning and shit. Yeah. It was like that. They're like, hey, we're going to do a fun, beautiful shoot, but then we're going to throw shit at you. And I love that at some point they just stopped cleaning up the set.
Right. They're like, this is taking too much time to turn over. Just get the next girl in.
Leave the confetti and trash on the ground.
They're like, hey, you're all right. Right. Put your hat back on.
You balding bitch.
Yeah. Get your hat back on, sir.
Norma breaks the set with her antics, and I thought that was hilarious.
Also, her final picture of her just clinging to the man.
I would have too. I would have been like, oh no, I've fallen over into his lap somehow. Elektra wins his first challenge, really like securing, I think, her position as the mini challenge girl this season.
Really good. Okay, I want 2 other things. Farida's photo is actually kind of fierce. Her like crazy like flash dance like backwards bend. But then Ivana's photo with the bonus pit crew member. The man in the like neon Speedo with the gondolier driver. I was like, okay, work. Love it.
I loved Ivana. I felt bad that she was the first to go home and it was like, no one goes home. Ivana. No one goes home.
I always feel bad for people like that. Like, it's always like, it must feel so shitty to like be like, oh, thank God I'm not the first going home. Oh, I am the first going home.
And then no one went home next week.
Sucks.
That would feel even worse. This is a crazy season because of that. because nobody goes home for the longest time, and then suddenly it's like bam, 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 bam.
They're like, oh, we've done 2 double saves. Blasphemy.
Right. Our very first maxi challenge of this franchise is to use unconventional materials from random suitcases that celebrate Italian-style fashion. It was very similar to the first España one with those boxes.
Yes. I just felt very confused and uncultured because I was like, Nona Gina, Nona Claudia.
Yeah.
I do not know these women. I wish I knew these women.
They got to be important somehow.
Yeah.
They must be.
Sylvia and Monica. A little bit of it's Malamba number 5. No, I mean, I appreciate it. I love like a mix. It's also hard though because I go back and forth because I'm like, I wish they all had the same.
Yes.
But then also I just really enjoyed the Monopoly one that just happened, and that was all different. That. So it's like, ugh. I don't like when each person has a box.
Yeah. Because
it doesn't feel like an equal playing field.
It doesn't.
Except for like in terms of who can like be the most creative with their respective materials, but like kind of on a sliding scale sometimes.
So let's talk about that because some of these materials were insane. They got like sample size fabrics. Like
hateful.
For anyone that's ever gone or anyone that's never been fashion fabric shopping, when you go to like a fabric store, sometimes they'll give you like a square that's like a foot by a foot, so that it's like a paint sample, so you can like put it up on your mannequin and see how it drapes and like try to decide if that's what you want. They got like that type of shit.
They got like the remnants on the bolts that you get the discount for at Jones. Joann's.
I forgot about remnants.
Yeah,
those were usually super inexpensive. Someone got pasta noodles. Someone got a casted pizza model. Someone got egg cartons, which would be worth so much money now. Spray cans, yarn, a fake fish, plastic bottles, but only like 6 of them.
It did feel like a PA was instructed to assemble boxes for, they were told, unconventional sewing challenge, and this person has never sewn. They've never made a garment, and they're like, well, it's unconventional sewing, so like I'll put like a fucking rubber duck in. I don't know, like I guess, and then I'll put in some plaid fabric, like, because then like that's conventional, but like whatever, and then I'll like throw in these leaves, like
literally.
It was so random because it didn't feel like there was a huge sense of curation, at least unless I was missing like references and like cultural things.
Yeah, I kept wondering the same
with the plastic bottles and the paillettes. I don't know, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it just felt like random shit.
Yeah.
But they curated the random shit per box.
Right.
So that's why I meant by, I was like, who's Sylvia? Like, what is this?
Who is she? What's
what
her
does this
story?
have to do with this Nona? But again, yeah, maybe this was just my American not knowing.
It has to be something that we're missing. Do you remember when we found a freaking chorizo on Reddit? We need to find.
Oh yeah. I need the Drag Race Italia Spark Notes, not just someone on Reddit telling me how bad this season is.
I want to look at these looks because we love looking at the unconventional ones.
Yeah.
But I want to give a couple quick notes on these human beings because we dive into them early. It felt like jumping in a time machine to 2007. Most of these girls are not out to their families, and they are like terrified to tell them that they're gay.
The status of like queerness in Italy is a weird like darkness that kind of looms over the season. I feel.
And it gets brought up quite a bit. And then the other thing that I noticed is that like all of these girls feel so unaffected by the Drag Race machine. Like they just seem like queens coming in to do the show. Like they don't even seem like they're fully aware that there's cameras.
Yeah, well, and I also do appreciate, because of how hard it is to be queer out there, be a drag queen out there, if they're doing it, they're really doing it. It's not just because it's fun to do.
Right.
Like there is a certain level of, because that's what I appreciate about the España queens is like there's a certain amount of persecution, and like, not that I appreciate that, but
you heard it here, folks.
I appreciate that they suffer.
My co-host wants persecution.
Yeah, let them suffer. But like in the US, not everywhere, but in LA,
Sure.
you can frivolously do drag without persecution or consequence
Right.
or any sort of like hardship.
Right.
Whereas like in a lot of these countries, like that is not the experience. And if you're a working professional queen, like you go through a lot of shit.
Right.
And so I do appreciate that they have that kind of point of view. And it's not just like, well, I watched Drag Race and I started doing drag because it looked fierce.
Right. And I'm a character now.
Yeah.
Like, the only one that I think comes in like a character is Lakeisha. Everyone else just feels so refreshing to watch.
Yeah.
Because they're so not TV characters. You said Lakeisha looks like a Project Runway contestant out of drag. All of them act like Project Runway contestants in drag.
Period.
Like, they're just there to compete. They don't
Yeah.
seem like they're aware of any of the TV dynamics. Okay, so I want to say this runway was really hard to watch because of all the flashing lights, and it's so washed out.
Oh, the lighting for the runway is not it.
It's atrocious. So I'm really glad that we have like stills here. And
Yeah.
I want to hold space for these outfits, even if they're bad, because they were given literal garbage.
Trash.
Like actual
total
trash.
The main stage is so funny because it felt like they were trying to recreate the US stage.
Totally.
With totally different lights. Because like in the stills, it almost kind of looks like the US stage.
It does.
But in motion, not at all. But it was like they saw photos and they're like, oh, well, we have this light and it's shaped like that. And then they installed it and it's like a strobe. And they're like, oh, well, that was supposed to be the spotlight.
And they put in like one bulb and it's a helicopter spotlight.
They were like, it was like full on raves at certain points.
It was crazy. And the camera work was nuts. Okay, so Ava's look, I think she looks cute in this color. Avant-garde. I think she looks cute.
I got that mouth too.
She got that mouth wide open.
No, it was
Cupcake.
cute. Very like safe sewn look.
Yeah.
Giving me very early season sewn look when they just do like Pretty Woman,
Yes.
like domestic woman.
She looks like she's gonna go sweep.
That, okay, how do I say it? That is such like a lost art in the sewing challenge. No one does that anymore.
No.
Like, I'm just gonna be like a domestic woman. Like,
It's
I'm just
early
gonna be
season
like
magic.
woman in the kitchen or something. You know what I mean though? Like woman doing laundry, woman picking vegetables. Like everyone now is like, I have to like give cunt. But like early season, it was like, no, I'm going to be like doing laundry in a little housewife dress. Or,
Correct.
like, I'm going to be like in this little like frou-frou thing.
Yeah.
And I kind of love that energy. Like Tammy
Completely.
Brown, Drag on a Dime, when she
Cease.
comes out in that little like bath
Just
look. Like, I don't
wiggling.
know. Yeah, like we need more of that.
Ava fully looks like she just like trimmed sage with her kitchen scissors. She's about to go take off the safety pins off the laundry outside.
Yeah.
She's gonna go roll out some more laundry in her washing bin.
She's gonna take a gin bath at the end of the night.
Totally. I kind of live. She's got that look. And then we've got this divinity in this red.
Like, did you dislike this look? Did you think this was a bottom look?
I thought it was so hot.
I thought it was really cool and really like the full body bow was kind of inspired.
Yeah, I love the shape of it.
There was also something weirdly like Sailor Moon,
Very
like
Sailor Moon.
Scout-esque about me because of the way the bow was shaped around the body and that
Yeah.
oversized bow around the tits. It was very Sailor Scout to me.
Yeah.
But like sexy. And I love the way she like held the ribbons of it.
Me as well.
I was really gagged that she was in the bottom because I mean, we said before, I think she's cool.
Yeah.
I thought this look was cool.
I mean, realistically, Ava was worse than her. The
Drag
judging already started weird in this episode.
This felt like in a regular season, not regular, in a non-Italian season, this would have scored higher.
Yeah, absolutely. Electra is wearing the Italian flag colors. I thought that the shredded material looked cool.
Yeah, cool. Kind of like seen it. Like it felt very like
Sure.
paper challenge. Also, brain rot as a Californian. I see these colors and I'm like, Viva Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's so hard to see red, white, and green and like associated with Italy before Mexico.
It's same like red, white, and blue. I can't see it as Puerto Rico or France or
the UK, any
Down
of that.
Under, any of
No,
those.
I get it. I see these colors and I immediately see Mexico.
Right.
I see like the tahine packaging that has the red, white, and green.
I see this, but with the California bear on it. Because isn't this the California colors too?
Is it?
I thought our
the way
California
I don't even
flag,
know what the California flag was. I know it has a bear on it.
Yeah, I thought it had these colors for some reason. But yeah, I mean, correct. Have seen it before, but again, like I am being so gracious this whole like look at this process because they were given garbage. Like,
Yeah.
a true April Carry On quote, actual trash, you know?
Yeah,
there
no,
was
it's
nothing
true.
to work with in
Yeah,
there.
hers looked the most unconventional material of the lot, whereas everyone else also looked like they just had fabric.
And it was meant to celebrate Italy, and this celebrates that in its own way.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've got a Norma. Honestly, like this isn't a great example of the garbage they were given. Look at that orange, that literal orange rind peel material.
It's
that print they
such
gave
early
her.
season fabric.
Yes, and the pizza on her head. I love that she was like, "Y'all gave me shit. I'm gonna put the shit on my body, and you
I'm
can
going
look
to
at
make
it."
shit with the shit.
Yes.
I'm not going to hide the ugliness. I do kind of appreciate when the queens do that, when they make a really stunning garment out of ugly ass fabric
Yes.
given to them, where it's like, I'm still going to serve.
Yeah.
You gave me this nasty yardage of fabric, and it's the one I have the most of, so I'm going to make the most fitted, stunning dress. Not that this is expertly tailored, but it's a very serviceable dress. Again, this is such early season sewing challenge
Totally.
energy. The shoe matching the trim is fierce, though.
It's everything. I mean, the shape is nice. If you put it all in that sparkly fabric, it would look nice.
The
It would
pizza
look
hat
safe.
is crazy.
It is nuts.
Viva Italia.
Viva Italia. Nothing says Italy
And
like
also
a pizza
the
fascinator.
chunkiest luggage.
That's the one that was her box came in. That was all of her shit came in there.
Because, like, you know, usually when a woman carries luggage, it's like a petite bag. This, like, magician's chest. This, like, Narnia
She has snake oil in
closet.
there.
Yeah. Yeah, literally door to door, like Avon. Crazy.
Oh my god. This next one is Lariche, right?
Wait. The pink one? The
No,
pink
that's
one's so
not Lariche.
terrified. The pink one's so Farida Kant.
Farida. So sorry, Lariche.
It's giving practical fabrics. It's giving, like,
It's because her whole face was covered. I got her mistaken.
oh no, so real. See,
She won this one, I think.
oh, did she? I already forgot who won.
Farida won the challenge, yeah. Farida won in this.
I mean, it's cute.
It's cute.
It's very clean.
Yeah, it's well constructed for the garbage she was given, and using this plaid to create this was nice. I like the tights and I like the hair.
Yeah, very, very clean, very put together. Yeah, that's true. It's probably the most edited finish. Honestly, hers and Divinity's.
I love Divinity.
So then I continue to be confused, but that's fine. No, this one is really good as well. This would be safe in a US season, though. I can't describe it.
I agree. I feel like that would be just a very, very safe look.
Although that hat was cunty. I did like that hat.
It's nice. Ivana's look, I mean, again,
Okay.
more epitome of the garbage she was given. The fact they gave her all these leaves and vines and
That's
shit.
what, yeah, like, why did she get plants? What?
Yeah, what was this? It was remnants from the Canada ball, the Sinners Ball.
Yeah, was there Envy?
Yeah.
Like,
They were like,
we had
you know
all these
what?
extra leaves for Envy.
Kimura didn't use these. Do you want them?
Yeah. We'll always
And
give
then
you
this-
a more.
Kimura more. And then this fabric is ugly.
The fabric is so ugly. The dress is fine.
Yeah.
But the fabric is ugly. I hate the bodice part of it and that, like,
Me as
silver
well.
white. Ugh.
But
so
I mean,
gross.
what else is she supposed to make?
Yeah.
You know? Like, it doesn't look good, but it's not her fault. It's not her fault.
Well, like, same. Okay, again, with La Riche, La Roche,
LaRoche.
this, like, Chex Mix fabric.
What the hell is that?
It looks like pub snacks.
It does.
Like little pretzels
Chex
and the
Mix.
little, like, it's literally Chex Mix. It's so ugly because it's a really well sewn chic silhouette in the most atrocious print.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? But then also the red shoe with this is kind of boot nasty. I
It
don't know
was
what
so
she was
bad.
thinking. The red shoe with the red earring and the red hair
And
was,
the nails.
I was like, girl, what the fuck?
It literally is such a big head scratcher.
Can I say that? I hate red and blue together.
Yeah, me
Like,
too.
what is that?
This combination of this cherry tomato red.
Unless you're doing, like, 3D glasses, like, I don't want to see red and blue together. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Is this your H&M?
Well, also, maybe it's the red and blue with this like yellow, tan, gold. It's like what a ugly trio of colors, in my opinion.
It's so tacky. And like, again, I kind of commend her for being like, you gave me this ugly shit, so I'm going to wear it.
I'm going to wear my Chex Mix fabric.
I'm going to represent, and I'm going to get a Chex Mix sponsorship after this. But at the same time, the styling could have been so much better.
Yeah.
That this level of tact should have maybe been bottom worthy.
Yeah, I like her sea urchin ring.
I think our last one. Yeah, our last is Lakeisha Lubamba. What did you think about this clown jester look? I thought it was kind of cute. Tell me your actual feeling. She was inspired by Pinocchio for this look, if that helps you at all. Understand? I don't see the Pinocchio influence, but
gosh, she's just so funny.
She is.
I like the bag she made for it.
It's kind of a chic fabric, I won't lie.
I will say, I probably would have they probably would have lit for more if it was on like a twink.
Totally.
Because if like a little like nothing girl came out in this like hat and this like dress and they're like hands on the hips, like all avant-garde clown, I'm sure like, ooh.
Totally.
But it is a little silly.
It is. It's silly. But I kind of love that just for her.
Like Lakeisha, like her mug fascinates me because like she can't really contour anything because of her beard.
Totally.
It's just her with makeup on. Like there's not the same sense of like illusion.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to say there's no transformation because obviously drag is a transformation.
Yeah.
She transforms into herself in drag. But I mean like there's not, because like her facial features are so set by her facial hair.
Because it's so high up on her cheek.
And like she can't change her lip at all.
No.
She can't change her cheek at all. Mm-mm. She covers her face as well.
All the time.
Headband, hat, clown hat. We're not gonna ever see her full face.
Green,
but it's just like
yellow,
it's such a fascinating transformation with her.
Right.
That like, gosh.
She's a fascinating creature.
What a woman.
What a woman. Another interesting format change that happens here is that as soon as the runway's over, they call 4 of them immediately safe and then say, you all are the tops and the bottoms. You can go join them now. And then they deliberate and then give them critique.
So weird.
They do that till like the second to last episode and then they change the format. But like, that was so strange. So literally I paused it and went to Jake and I was like, what is the point of saying, hi, you're all safe. Beat. You're all safe too. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Because like, what? I've never seen a reality show do that. It was very strange.
Yeah, like what? It's almost like there's a miscommunication every time of like, they tell them through the earpiece, like, okay, it's these people. And they do it. They're like, no, you did it wrong. It's these people. They're like, oh, okay, well, I'll just send them to the back.
Right. We can't re-record it. It's fine. Our bottom 2 over this very first challenge are Lakeisha and Divinity, and they got a lip sync to a song called Oki de Gato. It had this delightfully 60s, 70s energy that every lip sync going forward for this season has.
Yes, it seems like they did not get a single song from this millennium.
No, but it was so cute that like, Oki de Gato. I was like Tracy Melshoring the whole time. I'm like, hey.
You were living.
I was. It was really cute.
No, it is a very cute song. But that's also very like early season Drag Race where it's all oldies.
Ava would have been great in this lip sync. She was dressed for it.
True.
It was like the song you listen to while you're pulling laundry off of the hangers.
Yeah, and picking veggies. Ava was ready.
Avant-garde. But it was a mid lip sync. Divinity is called Safe. And then Lakeisha's like eliminated. But she does a candy. Literally is like, Lakeisha. And Kiara goes, Lakeisha. And then they're like, don't worry. Lakeisha. It's episode 1.
Dude, I mean, I do think Divinity beat her though.
Totally.
And I think it was a fun like setup and like edit for Lakeisha because she comes in saying, I'm the top paid queen in Italy.
Yeah.
And then she almost goes home. I think it's kind of like Hormona being handpicked by Rue and then almost going home. Like big entry and then like shit happens. But no, I think she had a good like rattle at the beginning.
Absolutely. And I think it kind of woke her up for the rest of it. Sets up an interesting story for her transition through the rest of it. So then we've got episode 2, where we've got this acting / improv challenge to sell something. Okay, so for those of you who have never perceived this season, they literally are
Explain
assigned
it. Break it down.
just things. Like there's a box of things. There's a handset. There's a canvas, a brush and paint. There's a megaphone, pills.
Nothing.
Literally nothing. And the actual setup of this challenge was odd because they do these like flashes of them at the end of their recording process.
Yeah.
And then it flashes to them talking with the judges about what they want to record. Then it flashes to them mid-recording. Then it flashes to them finishing. And then flashes to them talking to the judges about what they want to record.
It's like it was documentary style.
Totally.
It was like documentary in retrospect, highlight reel, like prophetic dream vision. It was
Like it was
so
supposed to be
weird.
edited with music and no audio.
It was Milan's flashback to the future.
God.
It's like a flashback to the future.
We're asking you to be fashion forward, though.
That's what she was talking about.
It was this challenge.
Yeah.
She had a Raven vision to this challenge. Oh my God. And then we can talk about the runway in a moment. It's called the Great Divas, which I thought was interesting. But divas. We have. Okay, I want to talk about these really quick just because I think they're interesting.
The green screen acting challenge?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ava has this like headset and it can hear your thoughts. And she like puts it to her empty head and she's thinking about fucking the hot pick crew member. I thought that was funny.
Real is what you feel. Feelings aren't real.
Feelings aren't real.
Also, she kind of was slaying. Like, she kind of looked good.
She did.
I love when I was saying, I love, though, when she does this, like, housewifey look.
I'm kind of obsessed
That's my
with it.
favorite avant-garde, is just her as, like, a 60s housewife.
Totally same. Farida has this canvas, brush, and paint set that she did not use. And it was a horrible sales pitch, but the judges loved it, which I thought was odd. Keisha has a megaphone. It was very animal. Her entire
Rue
person.
Animal.
Rue
The outfit,
Animal.
The wig. The, like, Cruella de Vil Madame Madness wig.
She's so Madame Madness coded.
She was incredibly Madame Madness coded in this episode specifically.
Yes. Electro Bionic steals the freaking show. She's got pills. And it was so funny. She's like, do you not want to hang out with your friends? Hey, girl, have this pill. And it knocks them out. Do you have a kid that you think is annoying? Here you go, baby. Have this pill. And then she literally says, fuck those kids.
That's what I mean by, like, why she also kind of reminds me of, like, that Lexi Love energy of just, like, the not give a fuck, like, this
Yes.
is my point of view and my sense of humor.
Yes.
And I think it's going to go over well.
It was so funny.
I love it. I love her.
It was drag. I was so gagged that she was safe.
Okay. I mean, we'll get to it. But in my opinion, I would have given her the win because also that fucking runway.
That runway.
Between this really funny episode challenge performance and then a 10 out of 10 runway, I think the win was hers. But we'll get there. It
totally was hers. Larice does this app. And it was What a Dog app, which was for ugly girls to find hot guys. And I think that had so much potential. And I would love to see this exact concept. An app for ugly girls to find hot guys. Like, do the Baywatch body hurricane face
It was basically the reverse Madame Butterface.
Yeah.
Because that was... Or wasn't that to find Butterfaces? Or was it for Butterfaces?
It was for Butterfaces, I think.
Well, so, okay. Yeah.
I would love to see that kind of redone in a like full challenge, but she was like super flat. Like Larice lost all of her interest at this point. I don't know if she ever had it, but she lost it for me.
Drag her.
And then Ivana has this decanter and it like didn't go anywhere. Because she like acted like it was perfume, but it was poppers, but then it was nothing.
She was giving me QNN with the look, though.
Yeah. Interestingly, while they're showing us all these, they break the veneer quite a bit of TV because Lakeisha starts to have a moment and they like dismiss her to the back to breathe.
Yeah.
And then she like, it keeps flashing to her, like panic attacking. And then finally they eventually bring her back. But I did appreciate that Priscilla was like plugged in and being like, something's going on with you right now.
It was like weirdly giving like Rebecca and the MacViva glam.
Forgot about that. Whoa.
You know.
You just flashed me back 20 years.
You know.
Divinity has a magic wand for her commercial, and I need to know why the editors put her in Egypt. The commercial also like didn't have any POV, but the judges loved it.
The commercial was crazy. The outfit was crazy, but they lived.
They absolutely lived. And I'm like, what the heck is going on here? Something is going on. And then Norma Jean was given nothing. And she was the very last pick. So she got the thing that was in the box, which was nothing.
Crazy.
And it was like really airheaded, but kind of funny. I thought she was fun, but like Electro was my winner. And they loved Norma.
Yeah, I feel like they want to reward her for doing good under the circumstances, but Electra was my winner for sure. Although I will say I did love Norma's look.
Yeah. So, Bellesium. We have our runway category, which is Great Divas. I loved a lot of things on this runway.
Yeah.
I thought it was really fun. I mean, again, avant-garde. She looks like a housewife that's going out to a nice dinner.
Oh my God.
It's literally like, hey babe, put on your best. We're going to go get pasta down the street.
The purse.
The purse. Oh, a woman does carry a handbag.
She looks like a woman who like, she got out of the shower and then like threw this on and she's like on Catalina Island with her besties, like getting dinner. Like,
yeah, she's doing Moira Orfe, which I don't know a lot of these divas, and I apologize. I don't want to comment on them if I don't know them. I was very, very confused by this Beyonce look with Divinity.
I'm not holding space for
I'm not holding space for that.
For this white Beyonce.
No. Electra did Dita Von Teese.
Holy fuck.
Shit, she looked good.
She looked amazing. Okay, her in jet black hair, first of all.
Yes. And this
ridiculous slay. Makeup, ridiculous slay. But then, like, beyond just that, like, doing the illusion, the look and the body was so flawless.
Yes.
It looked so, like, truly, authentically Dita Von Teese expensive.
Yes.
Like, God, it was so perfect. She really, like, slayed it, in my opinion.
She evoked everything about this. Can I say, I am so gay, but I want Electra in this look to step on me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
She looks so hot. Norma is someone named Sophia Loren.
Sophia Loren.
Sophia Loren.
I believe she is an actress.
Oh, okay. Norma looks like a Norma. She's very pretty.
Yeah, very gorgeous. I believe Sophia Loren is known for her face.
Oh, okay.
I think Michelle told Scarlet Envy at one point she looked like a young Sophia Loren, and Scarlet was like gagged because Sophia Loren is really pretty. It's gorge. Mm-hmm. It's just very like classic beauty.
Yeah,
which I enjoy.
Yeah,
and
she's very pretty.
It's cool for her to give just like very polished classic like beauty.
Farida did a Lady Gaga look, and this is your favorite era that you complained about. All Stars 6.
Oh my God, the dawn of Chromatica. This is a very exact Lady Gaga reference, though.
Yeah,
it's funny though because I'm like, oh, this isn't like the stupid love music. It's just such like, oh, I guess it was very topical, very of the time.
Sure,
but I'm like, God.
Ivana's look, I think, is very fine. I understood why she was in the
this
bottom.
is Rain on Me, isn't it?
Oh, is it Rain on Me? That's right, it is Rain on Me.
This wig is Rain on Me. It's not even Stupid Love. It's the Rain on Me music video.
It totally is.
But it's like, that's so like, Like, yes, it's Lady Gaga, but it's so simple. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I want something more fun if you're going to do Gaga.
Right. Speaking of simple, Larisha's Kim Kardashian. Literally, Monet did this like 2 years ago.
Oh my
in All
gosh,
Stars
yeah.
4. Literally the exact look. And Monet did it better.
And also, I struggle with it anyways because, like, I think the, like, really weird, like, cartoon butt is kind of, like, strange.
It is. What'd you think about her reveal? And during the lip sync.
I don't think about it.
That's
I
so
try
fair.
to block it out.
That's so fair. And then our final look is Lakeisha doing Britney Spears, the circus look. I mean, she looks kind of cute.
No, I liked that she didn't take the jacket off.
Yeah,
I think she should have kept that jacket
I
on.
agree.
Because I think, yeah, the circus, like, with just the ringleader jacket and everything, that was it.
What season? Oh, in Thailand 3, they just did a runway called The Iconic. And it was meant to be something similar to this.
Oh, work.
One of my favorites, Godlin, did Marsha P. Johnson.
Big slay.
I know, right? Very big slay. So, again, I think things are a little bit odd. Norma wins. I think it should have been Elektra. Ivana and Larish have to lip sync. I was sure that it was going to be Lakeisha. I was sure.
It kind of almost felt like a fake out.
Yeah. And again, it was a very like delightfully low key song. I feel like the girls tried their best with this little synth piano.
Yeah, I feel like Ivana was trying to give mother and Larish was trying to give energy.
Yeah. My favorite was this guest judge. I didn't write his name down, but he was like kind of flirting with everyone all night.
Uh-huh.
And as soon as Larish tore off that outfit and was in that slutty bondage gear, he was like getting all like embarrassed and red and like kept turning around. Like he was fully questioning everything about his identity in that moment.
He was struggling. It was the huge boobs with the body. He couldn't handle it all.
He couldn't handle
It
it.
broke his brain.
And Ivana is the official pork chop of Italia.
Rip.
R.I.P. In episode 3, it's called Night of 1000 Raffaella Caras. She's this Italian icon.
Of course. Oh my god.
I know. I know all about her. I actually wrote notes.
Well, I know what her hair looks like.
At least we've got that. She rose to fame in the 50s, 60s. And she is very celebrated in Italy. I like that the mini and the maxi and the runway are all centered on her. I think that's really fun when they take their culture and apply that.
Yeah.
We don't do that a lot in other international seasons. Doesn't happen terribly
Yeah.
often. Usually things are a little bit discordant in some way. They did like a puzzle mini challenge, which I think they could do this again in the US.
Oh yeah.
Dipping
It was
into
fun.
that pool and pulling out those like, they had to have been magnets, right? Those magnet puzzle pieces.
Probably. It felt very like game show.
Yeah, it was cute. And to be honest, I like these like diva worship episodes. And I think they're fun to do something like that. Also, knowing that no one went home tonight makes me really upset that Ivana went home.
Oh.
I would have loved like maybe just one more non-elim episode and then start them tonight. I want to know what was going on why nobody went home.
Yeah.
So, and especially the fact that Ivana could actually sing.
My assumption is because they just needed those X amount of roles.
Oh, maybe.
So they had to have at least one person go home.
Maybe.
But that's also crazy because, like, if they didn't cut any roles out of this musical, then that means they had to have either bumped this episode up one.
Right.
To make
room.
Because they did a double. So either they had a double save planned or they delayed this episode.
Yeah. Something.
Like that, but neither of those are plausible for me.
Right.
I mean, I guess a double save first episode, but it's like, Jesus.
Do you think they went in the dossier and said, okay, week 1, no one's going home. We're going to eliminate someone week 2, and then no one will go home 3 because we have enough episodes planned out?
I think the second double save was not planned, and the blasphemy was the compensation.
They were like, thank God for you being blasphemous.
Yeah, thank God you disrespected our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ on television.
I loved this hot special guest judge, Tiziano. I think was his name, how you pronounce it. He was such a breath of fresh air. He was really knowledgeable about the diva they were talking about. Like,
They be
everything.
pulling men.
men. He was hot.
They are retrieving men from every corner of Italy and putting them
Yeah.
on our screen.
He like video called in from LA because he was such an authority on this actress. And he like knew everything. He was like, oh, that one time in 1969, she was on this TV show and she was wearing this outfit and those shoes. And she did this reveal and said XYZ.
It's giving them when they have the documentary and there's a person who knows everything about them.
Yes.
Yeah, he was ready for his
He was
hosting
so ready.
documentary moment.
I really hope that we'll see him in season 2 or 3. I don't know if you've watched either one of those to know. I really hope he comes back because he was so excited. He was like, I love Drag Race. I watch it all the time. I'm so excited to be here and I want to be there. Bring me back, please. Like,
Lovely
I really hope we
man.
see him. He was lovely, gal. Love him. And so then we've got this, you got this musical that's happening. I wrote a couple notes down. I liked the lyric, if you want to know who's gay, let one of my songs play.
Oh, yeah.
That was a
I
great
thought it was
lyric.
quite a solid musical.
Yeah.
Usually I give more leeway to the foreign musicals
Mm-hmm.
because I don't understand, like, sometimes when it's in a foreign language, I don't mind bad singing as much.
Totally.
Whereas, like, when it's in English, I can clock a bad singer more easily. I think you feel
Totally.
the same way. So I'm usually more forgiving to, like, a little rough melody, a little rough singing, because I'm like, oh, this is fun. This is cool. I like this.
Yeah. It was not as memorable as Maxima, the musical.
Flirt to the maximum.
That was everything.
Nothing will beat that.
That was everything. I have a hateful comment to make.
Make it.
All of them look like variants of Katya in this musical.
Oh, no.
Do they not? Look at these
Season
photos.
7 Katya.
Season 1 of Katya.
Wow.
Untucked Katya. The casting special from season 3 Katya.
Season 3 Katya faux show.
They're all represented here. It's all variants of Katya. It's the hair, it's the makeup with the heavy eye and the lip. They all look like versions of her.
I hate it. I hate that you say that.
I thought Elektra was incredible. This could have been another win for her. I thought she was so
Okay, so
strong.
that's the thing is she is that girl and she is slaying ridiculously hard.
Yes.
And that's saying something because the men that she was paired with,
Say it.
it's a miracle I even saw her at all.
Can we talk about that in this musical, that it was literally about the men doing gymnastics? Like, the queens had hardly any role because the men were just jumping in front of them.
And they were
the
all
whole time.
so hot. And one of them in particular, I was seeing it from the side, and because of like the sequin or shininess of their underwear, I kept thinking his ball was coming out.
Yeah, same.
And I was like eagle eye because there was like a lighter spot, but it was just the spotlight hitting the sequenced.
Yeah.
So it was just a lighter shade of aubergine.
I was just looking at the nuts the whole time.
It was crazy. They were all so beautiful. And so it was a miracle that I saw anyone. But
agree.
especially when someone did good, I was like, wow, well, you're lucky I even saw you.
And the lights were so crazy on top of it.
Yeah, on top of it being a rave.
Right. And then she looks like wealth on a plate here.
Yes.
Like, that is money.
One of the better wigs of the group.
She has great wigs.
Because
all
we see
season.
this wig, we see this blonde bang blunt wig in many iterations tonight, in many different levels of shine,
Yeah.
synthetic compositions. But her, we'll get to it. Avant-Garde's is a completely different wig than everyone else's.
She's doing her own thing.
But hers, it was like a really
Do you remember that photo of Katya wearing Trixie's mushroom wig?
Oh my god, it's very that. But Elektra's, well, because you can even tell the difference in quality between the one she wore in the musical versus the one she brought. But it's like super sharp bang, super shaped, rounded out like top, like really well done.
Yeah.
I lived. And then I loved the like monochromaticness of it all. And then like the way it was kind of like ruched and gathered and flowy and
She was
like
so hot.
yeah, it was hot.
I just don't understand how she didn't win. This could have been number 2 for her in a row.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a lot that is coming up in these next few minutes. So on the runway, Priscilla tells Ava that she looks like a truck driver in drag.
And then I just show them a picture of Ava from the challenge.
It's so evil. And this inspires a monologue that is like Jimbo saying your hair looks like it was dumped in the toilet. Jeffrey doesn't know the English language mixed with Melinda Vargas. This is fucking Vivienne Westwood. Like it was a amalgamation of both of those explosions in one. And she is in Untucked yelling about how that doesn't respect truck drivers. It doesn't respect drag queens.
The way she felt offended for truck drivers as a community. The way she's like, now why you gotta bring truck drivers into this?
Now why are they here? Who said that? And she just is yelling. And honestly, I don't understand why Norma blew up. Like her explosion came out of nowhere. But it's so funny to me because like she gets a single sip of alcohol in her and she's like ready to pop off and go psycho. Because then she starts just yelling.
Yeah. And it kind of just felt like the floodgate opened. It was like, well, I'm going to go off.
Yeah. It's crazy. So on the runway, Ava and Lariche have to lip sync to Fiesta, the Spanish version by Rafaela Cara. And Ava was like hometown buffet. She was like eating everything. Literally everything.
Do you think they thought because Lariche did pretty good last week that she was going to send Ava avant?
I fully think
I keep wanting to, instead of just saying Ava, because now I know it's avant-garde.
Yeah.
I want to be like avant.
Avant.
Like oblong.
That if when you say avant, it sounds like Fred's goodbye.
Avant.
Whatever it was that she was saying.
It was like
avant. Lariche was like tickling her tongue on like a sampler plate. Like she was not eating anything.
She was
like,
sampling. But also that tweet I love to talk about, Ava came onto this mad as hell. She came into this pissed off. Like
Harry, nasty truck driver and broke.
She had to prove this on behalf of the truck driver community.
Totally.
Before the song even started, she was fuming.
Yeah.
And she was clocked in, tuned in, in for the kill.
Yeah.
I gotta respect the woman.
Me too.
I gotta respect the woman.
So then in episode 4, it's Snatch Game and Fabulous 80s. I have to say, the beauty filter arrived this episode.
Right?
It took 3.
It felt like something changed.
Fully, the entire quality of everything changed because I couldn't see their wig lines anymore. Everything was clean and their faces looked smooth because there was so much texture those first 2 weeks. And like drag is a textured event.
Yeah.
If you go to live drag, and you have been, I used to perform in drag. If you're up close to a drag queen, you're going to see their stubble. You're going to see their lines and their creases of all the everything. You might even see a little bit of skin that's coming through from some makeup that's sweat off. But on Drag Race, they look like a porcelain doll. In the first 2 episodes, it was like, ooh, mama, she's textured.
Something shifted. Also, speaking of Snatch Game, Sway knew none of these women.
None.
I usually know at least one.
Mm-hmm.
At least one. Because even in Holland and stuff, they'll choose like a U.S. celebrity or something, even if it's not good. I did not know any of these people.
On top of it, this was the weirdest Snatch Game I've ever seen.
It was so strange because it was like, I didn't know who any of them were. Mm-hmm. It was really weird. It was really uncomfortable. So I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know who was doing good. I didn't know who was accurate, who was just completely crazy.
And that girl was just there to agitate everyone. She was so annoying.
She was paid to create sparks.
Every time it cut to her, I was like skipping 10 seconds forward. I'm like, stop talking.
I was curious, like, what her, I guess, character is as, like, a TV personality. Not in the sense that they were similar, but it was very, what was her name? Aubrey O'Day. In season 5, where it was, like, she was just, like, a menace. Yeah. She really felt like a menace to the group. And I don't know if it was because she didn't know what these women were giving and she was uncomfortable, but there was just such a weird vibe happening.
Yeah. I will say this was Duel the most successful and the least successful Snatch Game of all time. It was the least successful because this bitch was just there interrupting at every moment. And I'm like, I don't want to hear you talk. What I loved
she had never seen a Snatch Game. I will say that. She had for sure never seen Snatch Game and didn't know what Snatch Game or Match Game were.
Right.
But I'm like, is this just her being her? Is she being a disrespectful woman? What's happening? But
What is her story? But what I loved was asking them questions that they answer about themselves.
Ooh, yes.
I loved that. So it was, what's your personal hashtag? If you had to make a cocktail, what would your signature ingredient be? And what's your name in my contacts?
So
I love that.
not Match Game.
No.
Just a fun interview.
Question and answers.
It's like the YouTube interview where they have the like Google search and they like peel off like very like Jay interview style where they like peel off the prompt.
What's Pedro Pascal's real name?
Yeah, it's giving very that. Honestly, a Snatch Game where it's something like that.
That would make Snatch
where
Game
it's
not
like-
cringe anymore.
Where it's like Carol Channing like answers Google's most searched questions.
Yes.
That actually, I would watch that.
Can I say I love that idea more though? Like Snatch Game has devolved into being so unfunny now.
Yeah.
I mean, we reviewed 17 Snatch Games last year. And how many of them were memorable and stand out? Like I probably think about Nikki Plessen because that was fucking hilarious. It was crazy. And then Sahi's character with the blacked out teeth.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Like there's so few that stand out. Obviously Kylie as Dolly. But like Snatch Game has become so dull. Using this as a device to actually show like how well do you know this celebrity? Can you answer as them and not do any gimmicks?
Yeah.
Just show us if you know this character. I thought that was so fun. And I thought it was entertaining. However, they open up the week by showing unaired footage from the week before with this like typewriter that's like, once upon a time in Drag Race Italia, there was a horrible event that happened and it was so rude and disrespectful. And we don't want to be rude to all the fans who love our show, but it was really rude. So here you go. And we're only going to show you a little bit of it because it was rude. And it's literally like a Norma screaming for like 4 minutes, just yelling at everyone, going backstage, yelling at everyone again. You producers, you take me, a 46-year-old, and put me in a room with all these morons.
Okay, but again, cycling back to what you said last week, why did she start screaming in the first place?
I don't understand.
Because Ava starts going off because she was in the middle of something.
Yeah.
And then a Norma gets ridiculously activated out of seemingly, unless they cut something out, seemingly out of the blue.
Nowhere.
0 to 100, the most activated.
And she's been kind of like, as soon as she takes her sip of her Absolute vodka, everything warms up and she's like ready to go. Because the first 2 weeks, she like was getting warm with everyone to the point where they were kind of ignoring her.
Yeah.
And in this one, she just starts yelling at everyone.
Lucy Goosey.
Lucy LaDucey. It was crazy. And I mean, I just really don't understand what set her off. But yeah, they open with that and they cut to it at every chance they get. For the actual Snatch Game, I thought Norma and Elektra were hilarious. I loved Elektra's like cock destroyer Jenna Marbles character. She was so funny.
Not
and obviously,
cock destroyer Jenna Marbles.
was. Obviously, there's like a lot of cultural nuance that we probably both missed, but afterwards they keep showing the blow up. Like every chance they get,
Girl,
they keep showing it. And I mentioned earlier how like just poised Elektra is. She handles this whole thing with so much grace.
Yeah.
As they're discussing it. So the girls get ready to go on the runway. And they call Ava and Norma to the stage while everyone is shown backstage in their lineups. And Elektra's just like chomping on her gum like the whole time because it's a part of whatever her skit was she was going to do on the runway. And that gum had probably been like paper by the time she was done.
Right.
She's like,
worn out, dust encrusted.
do you want to talk about this? About this blasphemy thing? You told me about this a couple weeks ago.
But because I don't even know if I'm like fully accurate about it.
I did some research and I have the info for you if you want me to.
Because it was basically, it's grounded in religious governings, right? Because it's basically the biggest offense was her taking the Lord's name in vain. Am I correct in saying that?
It was because they were cussing so much.
It was cussing, and she was
cussing.
like interweaving like religious,
like God damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
hilarious.
Because it's so conservative over there on television that the two of them yelling obscenities was the most offensive thing they could have done. I am still really gagged.
It is crazy. Like,
and they basically get berated for like 4 minutes by the entire panel about how being a drag queen is being a role model and representing yourself in a respectful way for the LGBTQ plus community. And it like felt like some sanitized Mickey Mouse Club bullshit.
it was really strange. Okay. It was really strange because they get scolded. It's a lip sync to not be disqualified. Because usually you're just disqualified. So it's weird that there's two people up for disqualification and it's a lip sync to not get disqualified to the song Champion by RuPaul. Because what better song to lip sync to after being accused of blasphemy and on the verge of getting disqualified
and being an embarrassment to the franchise,
to your country, than Champion by RuPaul. And Ava's like, please, I have so many songs I have to learn right now.
Right.
Ava can't keep track of what song she's doing.
She has no clue. I mean, she was really like fierce. She had this like triumphant anger behind her the whole time.
Yeah.
And she like kept showing off. She's like, look, I shaved my chest. You can't send me home. I shaved my chest and my arms. Look, it's clean. And like Anorma's just sad the whole time. And she was like
over it,
moving the whole time. Like she was jittery. She was ready to go, I think.
Norma's just a sad woman in her big dress, and she was over it.
Such a big dress. So Ava gets to stay. Norma's out. And we have another DQ, but because she cussed too much and said, God damn it.
Yes. And then there's still
the runway. Then they cut. Okay, we've already seen all the looks. They've shown everyone
because
in the
everyone's
lineup.
been in the looks. Yeah, we saw them backstage also like reacting to the lip sync. Like it was so weird.
Reacting to the elimination. And literally they were like, Norma, you're out. And they're all like, oh, yes. That was crazy. It was
so crazy. Like the pacing of it, the fact that the runway clearly happened and then they sent her home, but in the scheme of editing, they sent her home before the runway.
Yes.
Was so weird.
Insanity. I know that we are going for a while right now and we still have a couple more episodes to get through, but I have to talk about Divinity's look on this runway because this giant hair and then this bodysuit with all the pink stars on it and that huge jacket.
It was so cute.
It was so hot. I cannot tell you the gasp that I gasped when they called her bottom and sent her home.
It was I would say that, and honestly, La Roche had my favorite looks of the night.
Electra had mine.
Or no, sorry, Farida, not La Roche. I stay mixing them up.
Yeah, you probably will.
I love La's look.
La Llorona. Who did I do that to? I did that to someone in one of the... Was it España? I kept getting Sahi confused with Dovima.
Oh, as one would.
I could see La Roche and Farida being like same coin. Yeah, Electra murdered me. Electra absolutely murdered me. She was so hot. She would like look like an actress from that time.
Yeah. She looked
I loved
amazing.
her. This runway was really cool. The winner is Lariche. For some reason, I don't understand. I thought it could have been Divinity. It could have been Electra.
Okay, Lariche's wins this season are so like, y'all live, I don't.
Yeah.
No offense.
There's something we're missing. There must be.
Yeah.
Or they went in and like the dossier got mixed up. Papers got shuffled around. Like you said, someone said, all right, Electra's the winner. Electra, you're safe. You can go to the back. No, not her. It's okay. I can just do critiques for someone else.
Yeah.
It felt like that.
For real.
Our bottom two is Avant-Garde and Divinity. I think it should have been Lakeisha.
For that look alone.
For the look alone.
Lakeisha's look was homophobic. Hateful. That was blasphemy. That was blasphemous to the public.
Look at this.
Oh, mama, I know she That is disrespectful. That's disrespectful.
That's disrespectful
She
to truck
should have
drivers.
been disqualified for that. Yeah, that Norma Jean should have been screaming over that. I think that Ava was activated.
Yeah.
Ready.
She was so set.
She was ready to do so.
Yeah. I was ready to do so.
Because, I mean, Divinity did good, but Ava kind of let her have it.
Totally. I mean, Divinity should have never been there, but
Agreed.
I mean, this was such an unlip-syncable song, this Cobra one that they had to do.
Yeah.
Divinity had this hair reveal to this, like, giant tease, like, curly blonde hair. And, like, was doing floor work and hairography. And, like, Ava was fun, but, like, they really tried to make us think that Divinity was not serving because they wanted her gone.
Oh, no, yeah. It was very, like... Oh, no, like, see Ava. See Ava.
See Ava.
See Ava.
Yeah. Because it could have gone either way.
No, because I think also Divinity's lip sync was very much more like lip sync we're used to.
Yes.
Whereas I think Ava's was more like, yes, we love that. They're so fun. Even though we were about to disqualify her.
Right. For cussing too much.
Because that was also what was funny is like, I thought like, well, maybe they're just going to eliminate her because they almost could earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But like, oh, no, they're living.
Mm-hmm.
They're living.
They are living. This is the moment where I realized that Priscilla is holding, and the producers are holding a lot of space for this alt drag. Like almost to the show's detriment, because like I don't think Ava brought a lot of great looks. I don't think she brought a lot of like great performance at all going forward, but they really just wanted to hold space for her.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, because I feel like if I saw her on US, I would not picture her getting so much screen time and like favor as she does. But they present her as such a triumphant, like, look, she's still winning kind of character.
Yeah, totally.
But then it does make me root for her. Even jump ahead next week, I was kind of I thought she was going to send home Lakeisha for a minute. I was like, is she going to let Lakeisha have it?
Totally.
But yeah, I was really sad to see Divinity go, though.
I was so devastated. I'm like, this girlie should not have gone home.
Divinity just felt like they didn't know what to do with her.
Totally. And once again, I think Elektra could have had another win. This could have been week 3. She could have had 3 wins in a row. So like
fair.
When she won the whole season, I'm like, fair. She won all those middle episodes. She won literally all of them for me. So then we have a makeover challenge, Long Live the Drag Bride, where we've got a makeover challenge with their loved ones. And their loved ones have to be the bridesmaid.
Yeah. So
Great POV.
Basically like the season 6 challenge meets like the family challenge.
Meets Thailand 2.
Yes.
Remember they did that there too?
Yes.
Farida's partner was so sweet and lovely. I loved how like masculine he was, but he was like, you know what? Shave off the beard. Do whatever you need to do. I want you to win this. And I love you.
It created such a great build up for the amazing payoff at the end of the episode.
Holy shit. That was so cool. Okay. So there's not really a ton that happens in this episode that won't like take up all of our time for the night. So I have to say, Ava's makeover, the Norma Jean is back.
literally, she was so triggered from what happened last week. She's like, Norma, I'm gonna avenge you, babe. She brought back a Norma through the corpse of whatever makeover was brought in at the start of the episode. She killed her and brought back a Norma by way of like Dusty Ray Bottoms almost like to
oh my god,
it was crazy because it was fully a Norma coded.
That was the first thing I wrote. She came around the corner and I'm like, oh my god.
And also like
back.
It was such a weird mindfuck of her being almost like a mother of the bride to like a young Norma.
Yeah. It was so wild. And then we get the most iconic moment that's ever happened in any makeover challenge ever. So Farida and her partner, the way that this setup is the queen goes out and does her thing, it's the bridesmaid goes out and does their thing. They come back. Then the queen does it. Very season 2 of Drag Race coded. Yeah. And then they both come out together and do their thing. So like they're in just pretty white gowns. Like I knew of this happening, but I tried to like put myself in I don't know what's coming.
Yeah, I don't remember this.
I don't remember this. But this video blows up on Twitter like every 2 months.
Period.
Then they come down together, and Farida's holding this like big wine glass and spills this blood-colored wine all over her dress. And then they both cackle and their teeth are revealed.
Yes.
And they're both vampires. Literally, like, chills all over again.
Yes.
How have we not reached that level of iconicism at any point in any makeover? Ever.
It was just such like, because also like she fulfills that surface level debrief and then flips it.
Yes.
And that's what's fun because it's different than like someone having a really creative interpretation of the runway that maybe barely fits the runway.
Right.
Blair St. Clair, Pink Barbie, Love the Skin You're In.
I'm thinking about
Green Forest Camouflage.
Candy Cyanide lighting herself on fire.
You know, there's many iterations where it's like trying to be so out of the box that maybe you're not really the runway category anymore. She at surface level fulfilled what was asked and then flipped it and did an extra level and made it something that basically stands alone apart from this runway as well.
Yes.
Because also you can look at it and be like, okay, bridal, because you know the prompt is bridal, but you see this out of context. You wouldn't even know it was a bridal runway. You just think that it's this luxurious, like, white, opulent, pearly look they're doing that leads into the vampire thing. So it's like a knockout of the park in so many ways.
I love the volume on the sleeves. And I mean, even the bridesmaid's dress is cute. I don't think it looks frumpy dumpy at all.
No.
Like, they both look so cool.
They're very couture and, like, high fashion and dramatic and textural.
And I don't know. Are vampires originating from, like, are vampire stories originating from Italy? Because when I think of vampires, I think, like, of that location, you know? I think of something, like, Roman almost about that time period. I don't know what it is.
Maybe they got capital on the vamps.
Maybe.
I mean, Ivana Vamp.
Ivana Vamp. She was the blueprint for this. And Norma came back, and then Ivana came back.
Yeah.
This was so freaking cool. We have I don't really think any of the other looks like blew me out of the water. I really did like Electra's. I thought they looked very pretty. Yeah. And I mean, she looked like that would be her getting married.
Yeah, Electra's was cute. LaReach was Vegas. Lakeisha was question mark.
I want you to tell me what you thought about Lakeisha.
Lakeisha was giving me...
Because she's in this flower arrangement that was very popular at that time. Remember when Aquaria did this
when
look?
everyone did the like bouquet in an outfit.
Yeah.
But she mixed it with like real fabric and then also like a bow.
It was big.
It was like a toga with the bouquet tucked in.
Yeah.
Bad.
It was not good.
It just also, the flowers doesn't complement like her facial hair and proportions, I don't think.
It was a little too high of a concept with the very little payout. I felt. So this time they finally give them the critiques before sending them to the back. I feel like this was probably because the makeovers were there.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that they finally did this. I'm like, Jesus, we're finally back to form the way that we're supposed to be.
We're so back.
We're so back. Farida wins, very rightfully.
Yes, by a landslide.
And Lakeisha and Avantgarde must lip sync to Cicale, which is the cicada. I thought it was like really junior. This felt like it was Lakeisha coded. They're like, this is our J Idol girl. We're going to give her a song that is all about cicadas. And we're just going to have her bop around doing a little Chicala, Chicala.
Okay, it was very Lakeisha coded, but even then, Ava still kind of gave her a run for her money.
Ran her ragged.
Because, like, I thought Lakeisha was going to turn it harder.
Yeah.
Because it was totally such her song.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I thought she was going to, like, let her have it.
Yeah.
But Ava, avant-garde. She kind of was like, no, I can cicada, bitch.
Yeah.
I can do it all. I've lip synced 8 times already this season. You think I can't do this song too?
I've twirled and swirled with the Norma Jean.
I've done every type of genre this season so far.
Totally. And so Ava's out. We're no longer holding space for her. We move into the grand finale. Top 4. I feel like this was not who I thought it was going to be. I thought it would be Farida, Electra, Divinity, and I saw a Norma there before the DQ. I think a Norma totally could have made top 4.
Yeah.
Easy.
I also saw Divinity there, TBQH.
I love Divinity. I'm so obsessed. I think at this point, I was definitely feeling like Electra's got this Carmen Farala energy. And I noticed at this point that Priscilla's been doing different looks for the room ale every week. Did you eagle eye that?
I probably tried to tune her out a little bit. The very first room mail when I was expecting RuPaul and it was her was a jump scare. I think from then on I did tune it out, but that's so fair. That's fierce.
I love that she takes all of the impression that Trixie does of RuPaul and she amps it up to a 10. Her head is moving like a chicken. Every time she talks, she's like, Queens,
yeah,
you're going to be doing this.
Literally Trixie
and you're
going
to be jumping through fire. I'm like, Mama, stop moving your head, please. You're stressing me out.
She was activated. She was alert.
But only her head. Her head shakes all the time. But her wigs are nice. I will say that.
Beautiful
I never
wigs.
complimented her wigs earlier. I did like this very last one I wrote down in my notes. She says she could cry, but the writers think that it would be better if she saves it for the crowning. That was funny.
Fierce.
I really did like that. So, they do the reading challenge at the finale.
Which, like,
crazy.
What?
And it was a weird reading challenge because they had megaphones, too.
It was just so weird. It was like, why are we doing it now? This makes no sense.
Right, and no one was funny. I love Lakeisha laughing at her own jokes and being like, I'm so funny. And literally one of the girls says, it's obscene that you're laughing right now. I think it was literally like Farida tells her, like, your laughing is obscene. Please stop. Then Electra gets up there and she just rips everyone apart. She literally like destroys everyone, wins the next mini, and she has 4 mini challenge wins. How do you have that many mini wins and not a single main? When you could have won 3.
It's very like, well, you're doing great, but we'll only reward you where it's not consequential.
Well, she gets jewels. Remember? They kept
True.
getting them.
At least she gets good prizes. She got some really good prizes, but it was like, it just makes no sense because she did do so good all season.
Yeah.
You couldn't have given this woman a single win at any point.
1 trip to New Hampshire.
I wanted a cruise. What about my cruise?
Oh, no, it was New England that Chi Chi got. She thought it was overseas.
Oh, you mean I get to go overseas? Yeah.
And then they have to write, record, and perform verses to Little Bit of Love. I actually really liked this because it felt like they had a lot of space to write words. And I think Little Bit of Love is fine. It's got a slow enough beat. You can get words in there.
Yeah.
The last thing they have to do is sit down with Kiara for a little chat. And I loved her. She like does for me what Tracy Melshore and Anna Locking do. Like she's got that energy of both of them combined, and I'm obsessed with her. I love this woman. Her and Tommaso, I'm obsessed with.
I honestly really enjoyed the selection of judges this season. I thought they were all quite fun. The men were hot. The women had great energy, except for the Snatch Game girl.
Yeah, she was awful.
But, in general, good group.
Mm-hmm. What I enjoyed about the sit down is that Lakeisha actually takes one of those pastries and eats it. No one ever eats those pastries.
You never see people eating on this show.
Never. That was crazy. And then Priscilla does do the final workroom chat. Like she actually goes in finally to talk to these girls. It's been Tommaso the whole time, but Priscilla finally does it. I liked her presence there. So what do you think about A Little Bit of Love?
I think it was a better mix than the UK2 Little Bit of Love, because the UK2 Little Bit of Love was really hard, but it was hard because also like rapping or singing in another language, there's like the different flow, the different like rhythm. Like for instance, Lakeisha's, like I felt like I was in another universe listening to
Me
hers.
as well.
I was like, what?
She had some good wordplay.
Yeah.
She had some really good wordplay.
Yeah. But like listening to it like just like flat out, I was like, what?
What's happening?
I thought it was pretty good. I definitely like don't remember any of it
Because the
like,
dancers were doing everything again.
again.
They were taking up all the space.
Yeah. And also, it's like, I mean, I don't know. It's hard because I would almost rather see them do like, because in Italy sometimes nope, in España they'll just do their original songs and like Supreme's just doing a song and they're on it with them.
I like that.
Or even like, I mean, Canada does that too, and there's not even a different language. But I would love something a little more tailored than just like generic U.S. RuPaul song. You know,
Totally.
Like
It felt like a little bit too steady of a return to form.
Yeah.
When they haven't really been doing that all season.
They've been so against the grain of like what you'd expect for Drag Race. So they're finally like, okay, super like stereotypical RuPaul song finale where it's like, at this point, just do a freaking like Italian like girl group or something. Like,
I would have loved that. Literally anything would have been great. I mean, the Rusical was very different.
Yeah.
The Snatch Game was very different. They didn't do a ball this season.
Well, because they didn't do girl groups, I would have almost been okay with them doing a non-RuPaul, just like girl group song, where it's like a random artist for the chorus, and then they each have a verse.
That would have been hot.
And they're a girl group together. Like, that's enough for me.
Yeah. What'd you think about the finale runway?
Electra 8.
Electra 8.
Electra was for me the standout of the night.
Those
like,
wet, glittery bangs.
She just looked so expensive and so like she looks like she was from like a fantasy or sci-fi movie. Mm-hmm. Like she was like an empress or something. Like,
and those huge plumes of that pink feather.
Yes.
Bitch. Oh, she gagged me. I will say, La Rich's hot air balloon was cute.
It was fun. It reminded me of something I see on Drag Race Holland.
Totally.
She also, the hair was very Keita Minaj.
Yeah. Keita Minaj, Madam Madness.
So
like
true.
Next. This whole season felt very reminiscent of Holland in a kind of special way. Did you live, laugh, love this sportswear dress by Lakeisha Lubamba? I know that you loved that purple feathery boa thing wrapped around that corset and that lemon wedge skirt. I know you loved that lemon wedge skirt.
Lakeisha is freaking crazy.
Crazy.
The aesthetic choices she makes are like completely uncharted territory. And I have to respect it. It's so like, she has such a strong point of view.
Yeah.
That it's like, what? Like, I want to know like what goes through her mind. Because
she is a J idol.
But it really is, because I was just saying, it's like, it's street from someone who's never been on the streets. It's hip hop from someone who's never hip hopped. Like mixed with like a weird like princessy pop girly aesthetic. Like there's like a weird like super harsh masculine and feminine edge happening. Mm-hmm. It's
by someone that's never seen a man or a woman.
Yeah, an alien giving this is an alien who was explained via chat GBT what bisexuality was. And then they're dressing up as a bisexual's dream.
Yeah. You know what this finale gown is? It's when in the J Idol group, there's that member they don't like that they never gave screen time to. And they said, hey, so you're graduating. And then they stick her out in this to say goodbye to her fans.
It's also giving like when the tomboy has to be pretty.
Yes.
When the mask, like the girl group member who's always the dude, who's always wearing pants, who's always doing the rap or always doing the guy part. They're like, okay, you have to wear a dress now. And it's like, it's giving like Butch Princess. Like they're clearly like trying to like do it in their style. Like they're wearing like a beanie or like a bandana with it or something. Like it was crazy. And I have to respect her for her dedication to her craft.
Yeah. I feel so bad dragging Zuki into this because she deserves so much better. It's Zuki's graduation dress.
It really is.
It's that dress. I love Zuki, but that was it. None of the eliminated queens really gagged me with their looks. Although I did love Ivana's rainbow thing.
Yeah, I
thought she looked cute.
Yeah.
But like everybody else didn't really gag me too much. They get one Last Untucked, where they get a room mail from Michelle and Rue, where Michelle is a multilingual diva. I didn't know she could speak Italian.
I know. Honestly, it should have just been Michelle.
Yeah.
She was serving.
What were those the looks from week 1 of UK versus the World?
Was it?
When they showed up, I'm like, they look familiar.
They were definitely filming something together.
They were filming something, and it looked like the UK because they were in a hotel room.
Oh, that would make sense.
And there is no way that Rue would be in some random hotel room if they were filming in the US.
Yeah.
They would have had them in the studio of Drag Race or at Rue's mansion or something. But they were clearly in like a motel or a hotel or something. And that looked like probably Michelle's suite she was in.
That's hilarious.
And it looked like the first episode from UK versus the World.
I'll have to go back and look, but
Yeah.
I could see that.
And so then we have Ava and Norma. Oh no. Wait. Oh, Miss Congeniality. That's why I wrote Ava and Norma. They give it to Lukeisha. I guess it makes sense. Ava and Norma were like out of the running for what they did. Ivana was there for like
Fair.
2 minutes. I don't think Divinity made any type of splash. And then
Yeah.
like Larisha and Farida were obviously going to be top 3.
And like Lukeisha was a very harmless character.
Totally.
She was never outright mean to anyone. I feel like she was just like
Stupid.
she was. Yeah, she. If anything, she could be abrasive at moments, but
Yeah.
it's just because she was so in her character and in her bubble and in her jush.
She was feeling her zhush. I gotta know how much of that was real and how much of it was put on.
Right, like
I gotta know.
She could be unpacked for years. That woman.
We could do studies on her. Farida is called forward to lip sync. Then Lukeisha is fully straight out eliminated. And then Electra and Larisha are called forward to lip sync.
Crazy. They're like, you've made it. You go. Okay, you two have made it as well. Congrats.
It was very... Didn't they do that to Lawrence, too? Didn't they, like, call forward Lawrence, tell Ellie she was out, and then tell Bimini and Taste that they were lip-syncing?
There's room for one Scott and one Scott only.
You gotta get the fuck out of here, Lukeisha Lubamba. I wrote down she's the Ellie Diamond of Italia.
Damn, it's true.
It's very... They don't do this too often. They don't usually have a top 4 and then don't let some of them lip-sync.
I know, especially without like anything to. Well, I mean, I guess they have the top 4 challenge, but like usually it's like a music video or something, like not like the very, very end. But it's like the fact that's like everything but you just get to do the final lip sync.
Yeah.
Those are kind of the most hateful, where it's like, okay, you just don't get the very last like chance to fight for this because I said so.
Goodbye.
I don't want this many people on stage lip syncing right now. Get out.
Get that Lukeisha off the TV. I'm not
I'm
watching,
not watching
that.
that.
So our lip sync song is, I'm going to try not to mess this up, Non sono una signora,
Period.
which means I'm not a lady. Lukeisha should have lip synced that.
This was her moment.
That was her moment. Larice takes off her balloon and then lip syncs in a blue bodysuit with puffball clouds, which was psychotic. Yeah. Farida removes her entire dress and she's got this bodysuit with tulle underneath it.
This blue, like tulle bodysuit. Yeah.
Where was that?
Yeah, and it was like it looked totally different than what she had on over it.
That was a magic trick.
It was
that
like
she
a
did.
transitional reveal. It was so strange. Because sometimes they'll take the dress off. It's just like it's just the thing without the skirt.
Yeah.
They just take the skirt off, where it's just like like a mini of the dress. But this was like a different look.
It was a completely different. I'm like, where did she keep? Where was that? Under this
like metallic gold, like kind of McQueen-esque look. And
Yeah.
then she goes into something super soft and like fabricy and
fluffy.
fluffy. Yeah, like that had to be like folded and stored under it almost.
I have no clue where that came from. And then Electra is like, well, then I'm going to take off my skirt and I'm going to take off my hair. And she
Yeah.
like goes from this like sleek, beautiful wet hair to this like beautiful braid. Like they were
Yeah.
both so hot. I think honestly, Larish had no chance.
No.
This was between Farida and Electra
Yeah, as it should have been the whole time.
the whole time. And I also want to say, last thing, up until this point, they've been saying week 1 to 5 to be Italy's next drag queen. not superstar.
Just drag queen.
Next drag queen. In this episode, they finally attach superstar to the addendum. Do you remember in season 3? I think it was during maybe the money ball, or the hair ball, and
Someone's
Latoya's
we're
there.
here to be. We're looking for the next top drag queen or whatever.
She says that. Yeah, she goes, I just don't think she's the next drag queen. And it made me giggle so hard this whole season because I'm like, oh, not smacking the mic. You just went,
I just
pow.
punched it. Just punched that shit.
It made me think like they're just auditioning. They're not real drag queens.
Exactly. Like it's a part. like they don't do drag as their profession, as their career. They're not like hometown heroes like Joella. Like I just don't think she's the drag queen.
Yeah, she's not it. She's not going to be the next drag queen.
No.
You're going to have to go back to the Sizzler
You're going to
and
have
keep
to go
working.
back to being not the drag queen.
Okay, but catch that tea. That would be the new Lifetime show. That's a riff off of Drag Race, where you pull like the Sizzler's worker. You pull the cashier from Walmart. You give them $5,000 and then tell them to come to Drag Race. And if they win, they get to be a drag queen and work at Hamburger Mary's on weekends.
It's basically like finding like who are the drag prodigies hidden in the world.
Yeah.
Like trying to find like the supers who walk amongst us.
Yeah.
People who actually have powers. Anyone who aspires to do drag, here's the budget. Can you serve?
And their exit line is like, damn, now I have to go back to the 99-cent store.
Yeah, here are the lyrics to Radio by Beyonce. You have 3 hours.
You want to know the most egregious lie that I read recently?
What?
For the Selena movie, JLo was specifically told she couldn't sing, and she had to be taught how to lip sync. Let that soak in your brain for a little bit. She had to be taught to lip sync. Lies and slander.
Listen, some things just don't come naturally to us. That is crazy.
Insane, right? So Elektra wins the whole thing. I understood because she, in my fantasy, has 3 wins. She won episode 2, 3, and 4.
She was doing the thing.
Yeah.
She was slaying the game.
Where like Farida obviously won the makeover, hands down.
Yeah.
And I think Farida won week 1 as well. I think that was definitely
I personally
hers.
feel like, no offense, Lariche, some of her wins could have been divvied out differently.
Totally. I wonder if they thought she was going to make a bigger impact on the show than she did. And that's why they gave her those wins.
Ooh.
Was like, it's going to be Lariche and Farida at the end. Like, Elektra was not on their radar at all. But then she was serving slaying. And they're like,
well, because
she's
I
not on the
wonder, was
dossier.
Elektra one of those girls that they did write off, but she slayed regardless?
Because she seemed very like, she had winner energy week 1, but she was like very low key.
Yeah.
She was not making a splash in the same way that some of the other girls were.
Yeah.
What I loved more than anything was the crew getting to walk the runway and doing like the final
Yeah,
bows.
that was so cute.
It was. And then like some of them coming out in heels and like putting on wigs and just like having a good time.
Yeah.
Like what a cute way to end. Like it felt like a stage show.
It felt very cute, very celebratory, very theater.
Yeah, very theatric. Because that happens usually the very last show. Like everyone will come out, cast, crew, directors, just wave and be like, "Thanks for a good time, everyone. See you next year."
Yeah.
I loved that.
No,
shit.
yeah, it felt like a cute send off.
I wish they would do that every year for every season. I just thought it was fun. This season was short, and it took a lot of liberties with the franchise and with the storytelling, with everything. And I want to know if you thought it was successful. That laugh told me everything.
I always appreciate seeing different ventures and different interpretations, and I'm all for adapting it to your native audience to make it make sense within the context of its influencing programming, just like Drag Race US is a reflection of Project Runway, Top Model, etc.
Right.
You know, I understand it kind of shifting to fit the mold of where it's being aired, but it's a no for me, dog. I think drag should not have to exist somewhere where it can be punished for
Catch that tea.
for like existing as it's meant to be.
Clock it. 100%.
And I get that they're still trying to celebrate drag, but it's like it feels weird to like also constrain it for being itself
and sanitize it a little bit.
Yeah.
It did feel like there was this looming conservative darkness over the entire season.
Yeah, and obviously like that's my very like liberal American like viewpoint of like, oh well, you should be totally free and like you should be able to express yourself in every way possible and like not be persecuted. And it's not like we're like queens aren't persecuted in the US, but they're definitely not penalized for being controversial, being loud, having a mouth, saying whatever. Like,
right.
If in certain programs in the US like Dragula, they're celebrated for it.
Absolutely.
So I think it is just jarring to see them penalized for not being perfect, especially because they're like, I don't even think they're having freaking drag story hour over there. Like, why are we expecting them to be role models? Like, right. It just was so strange.
I hated that whole like, you should be a role model to the LGBTQ plus community.
Yeah, like, yeah, they are. They are.
They're fine.
Yeah, them saying God damn it doesn't change that. Like,
them saying fuck 3 times doesn't change that.
Yeah.
And also, they could have just edited that out.
Yeah.
And just not shown it.
Yeah.
Unless the girls were nonstop talking about it.
But even then, they could Housewives about it, because there's a whole storyline that happened on Housewives of one of the friend ofs having a huge tantrum right after apparently filming was done for a party. But it was all about one woman's description of it, of, oh, you know, she was stomping on her phone, she was throwing a tantrum, she was breaking everything in sight. And that person saying like, no, it wasn't that bad, I was just doing XYZ. So, you know, it could also be a hilarious storyline. Yeah. Of, like, one of the queens saying like, yeah, after Ava had her blow up, like Anorma just started like screaming out of nowhere and like saying the most like disgusting, vile thing.
Pushed a PA out of the way.
Yeah, like she's just so disrespectful and so blasphemous. And then like let it like let the suspect, like, I don't know, I think that's almost funnier.
Yeah.
Like, obviously everyone would be like, show the footage, but like I think it's almost funnier to have like an eyewitness account instead of the direct footage.
Yeah. It was uncomfortable. Because it's like, why? I don't understand. Like, 1, why did you blow up? 2, why is this a problem? I don't get it.
Why is everyone so upset?
Yeah. What's the actual issue here? Like, to me, it's just a drag queen being a drag queen.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of the format changes and liberties that they did with this season were fun. I really hope they stick to that in future seasons of changing things up.
Yeah.
But I wish that they would clean it up. It needs to be retooled a little bit. But I think Down Under was very similar. I think Canada 1 was similar.
Yeah.
I think the only season that really had it together, that a non-Rue season, I think was probably España. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They seemed to know exactly
they
what they
had
wanted
it right
to do.
away.
Episode 1 was a little rocky. And then 2, they start soaring.
Yeah. But I feel like they're still finding their footing in it. Because also, kind of like with Canada, where it felt like Brooke was exploring her, like, the parameters of her, like, jurisdiction and stuff. This just felt like, well, what can we do here? Like, what can we do within, like, the constraints of our conservatism and etc.
I agree. It was interesting, to say the least.
Yeah.
Okay, who do you want to see come back from this season in any Versus the World or a Global All-Stars?
Farida has Versus the World written all over her, or Global. I would say my top 3 from 1 to 3. 1, Farida.
Okay.
2, Divinity. Electra was already asked to be on. Do you know this?
That's right. She was asked to be on Canada Versus the World, right?
Canada with
Envy
Isis.
And Isis. They asked all 3 of them
to not make Isis being there so weird.
Yeah.
And also to, I think the idea was also to sort of justify Electra's way of like, well, I know she won with no challenges, but watch her like slay.
Yeah.
Which I think she would have. But no, because she said no, I'm going to respect that. So I'll say 1, Farida. 2, Divinity.
Okay.
3, for shits and giggles, I would say Lakeisha Lopez.
Oh my God.
Because I think that'd be hilarious. But to actually watch Anorma.
I would say Anorma as well. Yeah, Norma and Farida would be my top two. I don't know who speaks English is the thing. So like if I could wave a wand and say they all speak enough English to get by, it would definitely be Farida first, and then Norma, and then Divinity. I think Rue would eat up Divinity.
I think so too. I think she would do much better judged by different people.
I think Rue would eat up Norma, and I think Brooke would eat up Farida.
Oh, yeah.
I think Michelle would eat up Farida. I don't know if Rue would get it. I think she might be a little bit too conceptual and out of the box.
Now that Michelle hosts Down Under, I would love for them to do Down Under versus the World hosted by Michelle. Honestly, her Down Under season was really strong.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I'd be here for it.
Me too. Any major controversial opinions besides the obvious about this season?
I feel like I don't remember enough of it to even have a controversial opinion about it. I mean, like, because also I feel like a lot of the opinions aren't even controversial. Like, Elektra should have had more wins. Like, Elektra is only a controversial winner because of bad choices made throughout the season.
First winner to never win a thing other than minis.
Okay, so I guess here's what I'll say is although she has had one of the weaker track records of a winner, she's definitely not the weakest winner. There are U.S. winners who I think she is stronger than.
Yes. We don't need to drag them.
That's all I'll say.
But I already can think of a couple.
I think that regardless of track record, if you just look at her body of work, she's stronger than a lot of winners. A lot of recent winners even. Totally. Like, she really delivered. She was really flawless, never had a weak spot.
Yeah. Never. She was always good in everything.
Yeah.
And she was beautiful.
And it didn't feel like it was just because it was a short season. Like, she felt like she could have kept going.
Totally.
She felt like she didn't... Because some of them, you know how it kind of felt like Little Rich and stuff? It kind of felt like they were losing steam and, like, running out of energy. Elektra felt like she could have kept doing this for another 10 episodes. She could have done a U.S.-length season. No problem.
Farida seemed tired, too, by the finale. Where, like, you're right. Elektra did look like she could have gone at least another couple episodes. Like, she could have done a full 14 episode season and she would have been fine. I would love to see her in an all winners. Her, Envy, Paranka. Picture it. Alaska,
Sicily.
Bob. That would be so cool.
That would be everything.
I would be literally everything. All right. Next week, we're starting season 14.
Wow. Is that Willow Pill season?
It is a Willow Pill. I already started just to like get myself ready. My soul already left my body as soon as Ruth said, "This is a Willow Pill." My soul literally like ascended up into the air.
So wait, Willow won 14. Who won? Is 15 Sasha?
And then Nymphia.
Whoa.
But in between 14 and 15, we have Jinx winning. And then between 15 and 16, we have Jimbo winning. And then between 16 and 17, we have Angeria winning.
So, okay, now we're entering... I hate calling it that, but the post-pandemic seasons.
Yeah.
We're in the era of post-pandemic where none of us wanted to say we were post-pandemic yet because we're like, no, the pandemic's still happening, but we didn't know that COVID was never going to go away yet.
Right.
So we still were not wanting to call it post-pandemic, but it was. We are culturally now kind of post-pandemic.
Totally.
Where like the world is opening up and we're just like starting to be irresponsible again.
Yeah. Do you want, now that we are finally like officially done with 2021 Drag Race, do you want to know some things that are coming up?
Give it to me.
All right. So we're finally going into 2022. We have 14 UK versus the world 1.
Wow.
I'm kind of like excited about that. I can't lie.
It's going to be so messy. Okay.
It's going to be so messy. Espana 2.
Period. Finally.
It feels like it's been years since we've talked about Espana.
I used to pray for times like this.
I know. I've missed it. All-Star 7. We got Drag Race France. Canada 3. Down Under 2. We finally will get Philippines. Drag Race UK 4. Italia 2 surprisingly already got another season this year.
Wow, fast turnover.
Fast. And then Canada versus the world wraps up 2022.
Honestly, this is going to be a great stretch.
This is going to be a really fun one.
22 is it's before it gets too bloaty.
Yeah.
Too tired.
Yeah.
No, this is a good time.
We're in a really good timeline. I feel like this, year of recording is going to be really fun. I do feel like a lot of these seasons are going to be like one episode. Like we've already kind of talked about how All Star 7 is probably going to be like one episode.
Yeah.
Because it's so inconsequential.
Yeah.
And then I feel like, what was the other one? UK versus the World is probably only going to be like a 2-parter.
Oh, yeah, if that, yeah.
If
I agree.
that. And then, I mean, 14, I want to try and keep it quick.
Short and sweet.
Because that season went on forever.
We
And
could honestly probably do it in 2 parts just because a lot of the episodes are filler
a
episodes.
lot of them are filler, yeah. It's such a weird season.
Yeah.
Because it just feels like fluff. I loved it, but it felt like fluff.
Agreed.
But we'll see what happens as we get through that one. But I am so excited for España 2. I saw it coming up on the calendar and I'm like, oh, bitch, I need
here.
that. I've been
here.
missing it because I've been being staunch. I know you've watched a lot of these seasons on your own, but I'm like waiting to experience some of these for the first time so we can talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
I have not even started other España seasons.
Oh,
I
girl.
I'm like chomping at the bit for us to get to España too.
And I love España too. It has some of my favorite women.
Yeah.
Jarigi Durklee is one of my favorite drag queens.
I know this name.
I love Jarigi. I'm so excited.
I cannot wait.
Oh, God.
And honestly, Versus the World 1 was fun, but it was a mess.
It's a mess, but it's an iconic watch, so it's going to be really good.
And I stopped watching after Janie went home.
Oh, my God.
I didn't watch anything after Janie and JK went home. I was done. I'm like, I'm out.
You're like, listen, it's not like it got much better, but
I know.
it's fine.
But thank you all so much for listening to this Drag Race Italia podcast. We will chat with you next week for Drag Race Season 14. Thank you for listening. Remember, you're doing a great job. You're doing the best you can. And that is all you can do. Goodbye.
Bye.